All right, next question. So we're going to look at the question sentence first per usual. So it says, how many complete boards can be cut? All right, sounds good. So again, the key word here, the key phrase is, how many complete boards can we cut? So everybody, before we even get into the actual information here, I want to just express and just discuss briefly what the word complete means when you're looking for a complete amount. What you're looking for is a whole number amount. So for example, everybody, let's say magically, I'm not going to use one of the answer choices. Let's say magically, we get our final answer and it says, oh yeah, it's going to be 14.95 boards. After we do all of our math, let's suppose that it says 14.95 boards. If that's what we had at the end, what would the answer actually be if we're only counting complete boards? What would it be in this specific case? 14.95, would that be respected as 15 or 14 as the final answer? Yeah, Angela, you got it right. That's going to be 14. Again, the word complete boards, it means, again, a whole number amount. So if you divide and you get 14.95, the answer would be 14. If you ended up getting 8.5, the answer is going to be 8 because we're only looking at the number of complete boards. So I just wanted to talk about that briefly before we get into the actual mathematics here. So let's go ahead and get into it. So from a 12-foot long log, a carpenter cuts boards that are 18 inches long. How many cuts can we make? Everybody, what operation does that make you think of? If I want to cut this 12-foot log and I want to make cuts that are 18 inches apiece and I want to see how many cuts I can make, that's division. Absolutely, 100%, that is division. So overall, what we're doing here is 12 feet. We are dividing 12 feet by 18. We are dividing it by 18 inches. And so we can't divide quite yet, because if we're dividing the same dimension, distance, we have to have the same unit. So it's 12 feet divided by 18 inches. Well, we're going to have to either turn the feet into inches and then divide, or turn the inches into feet and then divide. Either way, you'll have the correct answer. So I'm going to choose to go with keeping the numbers as whole numbers. 12 feet is the easier one to deal with, but you can go with both. But I'm going to choose to convert the 12 feet into inches. 1 foot equals 12 inches. So we will be multiplying in this specific case. So we'll do 12 multiplied by 12 because every foot is 12 inches. You have 12 feet. 12 times 12 gives us 144 inches. So we have 144 inches divided by 18 inches, and that's going to give us that final answer. So again, the way that we got here, one more time before we do the calculation, the way that we got here was we knew that we had one big log, and we wanted to make as many cuts as we could to make boards. Every cut represented one board. And so when you're trying to figure out how many times you can cut something, how many times you can subtract, that is division. So boom, there we are. 144 divided by 18. We can show that as long division over here, but it's really no point because 18 doesn't go into 1, doesn't go into 14. And so we have to take a guess here to get to 144. And so this is where I'll reveal the correct answer. It's going to be 8, because after some guesswork, some guessing and checking, we could get 18 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. And then 1 times 8 is 8. Carry the 6 is 14, getting us to that 144 that we're trying to divide into. So the answer there would be 8 complete boards that we would be able to make. The correct answer is B, 8. All right, new question. New question, but we're going to begin in the same way every time. We're going to read the question sentence first to understand the goal, then we'll read that information. So here it says, How many laps around the park is that? So again, whoops, right here. So it says again, how many laps around the park is that? So to find out how many laps that is, well, we need more information. So here it says, a rectangular park is 100 meters by 50 meters. A walker travels 1,500 meters along the edge. Okay, so when we have this rectangular park, we see that this person who's walking goes around and around and around and around and around until they hit 1,500 meters. So we need to know how many laps is that. So to figure that out, we need to understand how long one lap is. And that's going to be one perimeter, going around one time. The perimeter is going to be double the length plus double the width. And this is going to be straightforward here because double 100 and double 50, again, very straightforward because that's going to be 200 plus 100, giving us 300. So what we know here is that each lap, every time we go around this park once, that's going to be 300 meters. My party people, how many times do we need to go another lap, another 300? How many times can we go around until we reach 1,500? If you don't know that off the top of your head, that's fine because this is division. You take your total and you divide by how long each lap is. And so effectively what you have is the zeros there cancel out, the zeros here cancel out, and we have 15 divided by 3. My party people, I think we all know what that is. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we can complete 5 laps right here, answer choice B, to reach 1,500 meters. And there we go. So next problem up, first thing we always do, read the question sentence first. What is it that we want? What are we looking for here? And it says, what is the area of the lot? That's the biggest key word that I can ask for when it comes to math, especially when it comes to geometry-based problems, because those keywords are always going to be there in some way, shape, or form. So we clearly see that it says area of the lot, but what we have to be careful about is what shape we are dealing with, everyone. Remember, different shapes have different area formulas, so we must take the moment to point out that it says a rectangular parking lot. So once we have that, we have to spit out that formula immediately because we see area, we see we are dealing with a rectangle. So we are going to snap our attention to that formula, which is area of a rectangle equals the length multiplied by the width. Just like that. So we have our area formula lined up, and let's understand what information we're given. Because to find the area, which is what we're looking for, we're going to need the length and the width given to us. And we see that right here. 25 meters long, 16 meters wide. We have the information we need to plug in. So right here for the length, I'll plug in 25. For that width, I'll plug in 16. And it looks like to get my area, I'm going to have to multiply 25 by 16, which I'll do right over here. 25 times 16, 5 multiplied by 6, that'll be 30. And we'll carry that 3. Then we have 2 multiplied by 6, which is 12. Carry that 3, that'll be 15. Next up, we're going to bring it down right over here to this next line. And we're going to now begin with the 1. So 5 times 1, that'll be 5. And then we have 2 times 1, that'll end up being 2. Add this all together, and we have ourselves 0. 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 2, that's 4. And there we go. We see that our area that we have been looking for this entire time is 400 square meters. And again, it is square meters because we are multiplying meters by meters, and that's where square meters comes from. Nonetheless, everyone, the correct answer here is answer choice D, 400 square meters.